Canadian. I'm the in-game leader of Space Station Gaming.
Last year's story at SI was predominantly centered around your kind of personal redemption arc, especially after your tenure at Evil Geniuses. How do you think that the narrative surrounding SI 2021 will have changed for Space Station compared to last year?
I mean, I guess the narrative would have been more around us defending our title, and also, I guess, proving, like, kind of how we are as a team, like if we're better against like international competition, if we're better on land, that sort of stuff, because the whole year had just been domestic play, and then there was some land but mostly online. So just kind of proving our point there, I guess. I feel like that would have been it for us, at least. I'm sure there was a lot of other teams with kind of storylines for them going into it, but yeah, I think that probably would have been it for us.
Well, you kind of touched on one of the other things that I wanted to ask, which was that during 2020, you guys never really got like a full opportunity to kind of defend your title, especially with the lack of lands, which everyone knows is sort of you guys' stomping grounds. One of the big teams that people were talking about as a major threat was TSM. Do you guys think, or do you think that you guys would have been able to maintain and defend your title, or do you think you would have found it harder than you did last year?
I think our matchup against TSM would have been more difficult. I don't necessarily know about like international teams. I think the more and more we play against TSM, I think it gets better for them, because I think they're a more skill-focused team, we're more strategy and like kind of like the IGL adaptation kind of focused team. So the more and more we play each other, the more and more kind of they're gonna figure us out, I guess. And it kind of evens the playing field for them. I still think that we'd be able to beat them, and we have. Like our last two matchups were both in the November major, and we beat them once, and then they beat us once. And like it was like very evident. Like one was dominated by us, and one was dominated by them. So like it wasn't like, um, and it was 1 day difference. So it just shows how easily things can be swayed in that kind of matchup. But I think like the international matchups where everything's a lot more unknown, I think that favors us a lot more. So I think against those kind of teams, yeah, well, I think it's still strong for us. But yeah, against a team like TSM, I think the head-to-head matchup is probably a bit more evened out.
Yeah, I mean, I was actually going to ask who out of the international teams, and you can, I suppose, include the NA teams as well, but who do you think would have been kind of the team that you would have seen the biggest rivalry with going into SI 2021, especially when you've got teams like G2 who are sort of trying to take back their own glory of the past as well?
I mean, I think it might have been G2, but it's impossible to really say because it just depends who you get to actually play against. But I would definitely like to play against G2 again. I wouldn't really even consider it the same G2 though. It's just like the G2 that I always played against was like completely different. There's like only Penguin and Kanto are still there, and when I played against Kanto, Kanto was a sub. He wasn't even on the team. So like it's just completely different times. Still would be excited to play against them. I think the other team would probably be Empire playing against them again. I just like their style of siege a lot, so it's always fun to play against them. It could be anyone, just especially in like a groups and double elimination bracket. Like you could end up playing a team 3 times, and all of a sudden there could be a rivalry there. So who knows?
Well, the meta that was present this time last year is very synonymous with your team. Now, obviously, you will have been prepping and practicing, and you've had a lot of practice as things have developed, but do you think that that would have changed at all how you maybe would perform or play going into this year?
Yeah, a change of meta kind of forces you to change how you play, but I don't really think it changed much. I think that was kind of always overstated. Um, like we did play it well and we did use it well, but I don't think it defined us as a team. I think what defined us more so was that we were really good at attacking against it as well, which teams weren't. So I feel like that's not necessarily on the meta, but I'm obviously biased. So I think, yeah, the meta would have been different, but I think we had a good grasp on it. So I think this was one of the most flexible metas we've had in a long time. And I think that kind of played in our favor. So I don't think it would have been much of a problem.
What does SI mean to you?
I mean, SI, it's the event of the year. I feel like I almost always say it to my teams is that it's the only event that matters in the year. Like if you place dead last at every single other event, and you win SI, no one cares, right? You won SI. So it's the biggest event of the year. It means everything. Every event leading up to it is a stepping stone to SI. Nothing's kind of final until that event is played. So yeah, it's a big deal.
What is your favorite memory of the Six Invitational?
Now, favorite memory is winning SI 2020 for sure. That's just it. Just winning that event. The moment we lifted the hammer.
You'll obviously have a lot of fans around the world who are really looking forward to seeing you guys play and aren't going to get to, at least not for a while. What would you say to all of the people who are supporting you?
Just thanks for the continued support. I hope you guys stick around, continue to support Siege while we're kind of getting through this rough patch of, I mean, the whole world is getting through this rough patch of COVID and whatnot. But yeah, just kind of stick it out, see it through the other side. I'm sure we'll land back on our feet. There's bound to be a lot of really good Siege coming out. I mean, a lot of teams are just practicing away and playing away online. Yeah, when everyone kind of finally meets head to head, I feel like there will be a lot of build up to it, and it'll be a really exciting LAN. I hope that the first LAN we have ends up being the postponed SI 2021, because yeah, just having like a big clash of all the international teams as like our first kind of welcome back, I think that'll be perfect, and I think everyone will love it.
You're not competing in the Six Invitational that's happening this weekend, but a lot of your friends and people that you know are, even some of your teammates and your coach. Would you like to give some trash talk or support to any of the players or teams?
I mean, I guess I'm rooting for Delicking these nuts and fucking Rampy. I hope they smash Parker, and I hope they teabag him a lot. That's about it.